Hi everyone, my name is Felicia and I'm here to spend a little bit of time with you today talking about what it's like to be a survivor. And I'm doing this because this weekend we are celebrating my 10th stem cell transplant birthday. Before I get started with the rest of this video, I want to take a moment to dedicate this to a few people that are near and dear to my heart. One, her name is Nancy Groney. She's my nanny, my grandmother, who spent so much time and so much love on me growing up and even as an adult. She is a fighter, and I dedicate this video to her. Two, Lee Roll. She was a teacher, a mentor, a wonderful friend, and a fighter. And I dedicate this video to her. Thirdly, I dedicate this video to a man who has spent 14 years fighting battle after battle of cancer right by my side. He is a fighter. My son, Gage. This is Gage and me in a picture during my second battle with cancer. The first time I had cancer, he was 4 years old. The second time he was, I think, about 6. And that's about how old he is in this picture. We had this picture taken about 2 days before I started chemotherapy. I honestly thought it would be the last picture that I had taken with him. And so I made it a priority to go and have these pictures taken. I dedicate this video to you, Gage. Thank you for all that you do. A lot of times this time of year, I'm affected pretty deeply when I realize that it's almost February 8th. And a lot of memories go through my mind, a lot of chaos and turmoil and happiness that I'm here. Such a whirlwind. This year, that did not happen. It snuck up on me, and it's because I had already spent the entire year since I spoke with you last asking myself and asking God, why did I survive cancer? What is the reason? And I want to share that with you today. Instead of thinking about times where I was in the hospital and Gage was there by my side, he's so small, snuggling me and helping me through, and instead of thinking about how all of that could have negatively impacted his life, I tried to think more along the lines of the good that it could have done for him and for others. And here's a picture of me getting my stem cells. That night, it was in the middle of the night. Here's a picture of me talking to my family at the hospital. There was a photojournalist that followed us through the entire process. And I'm grateful for that because I have all of these articles and pictures and memories to remind me that I did survive and I am a survivor. But it just wasn't the same this year when I thought about it. The reflection time that I spent over this past year, asking myself and asking God, you know, what is the reason? What is the purpose? The first thing I heard were all of the voices from people that I know and love and from strangers on the street that ask me, how? How did you survive cancer 3 times? And they're just baffled. And the only thing I've ever been able to do is shrug because I never faced how I did it. I never thought about it. I honestly barely remember it. I think you just fight. So I never had an answer for them. But in this year of reflection, I've come to learn that I was born a fighter. And I've been fighting some things that were even tougher than that before cancer came and hit me 3 times. And that's the reality, is that I didn't become a survivor when I beat cancer once. I didn't become a survivor when I did it again. I didn't become a survivor when I did it the 3rd time. And I'm not a survivor now because of anything that happened to me or to my health. It started way before that. It started when I was younger, and that is the discovery that I made through this year of reflection. In asking God what the purpose was, He said to me, create. I had no idea what that meant. I knew that I had been always a creative person and felt the desire to create any kind of art. But I never did it. I always felt that that was irresponsible and a waste of time. So I never did it. But when God tells you to do something, you do it. So in October, just last year, not even 5 months ago, I started painting out of nowhere with no classes or anything. And God gave this to me as an emotional outlet to overcome some of the pain from my past and from all of these battles with cancer and what all of the turmoil and the emotions that had gone on in my mind for 10 years. He's helped me bring out in the work that I do in painting. And I think just in the last 4 or 5 months, I've probably painted 30 pictures. And I've even sold a few, which is crazy because I've never painted prior to October. But I wanted to share one of the first ones with you and how important it was that God gave this to me as an outlet. This one is called Survivor. I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but I will explain it to you. These are my scars that I so often used to hide and feel embarrassed about. We have external scars, all of us, and internal scars that are probably much worse. So there's no need to hide the external scars. I have the green lymphoma ribbon here around the eye, which that is the type of cancer I was diagnosed with, is Hodgkin's lymphoma. I have one large eye here open, representing me watching out, looking and listening and wondering, what is my purpose? And then here, as you can see, there's no lips, just survivor, like a label, because I often feel like people think if you're a survivor, you're just supposed to be happy that you are even living, and it doesn't matter that you still have a big pill box full of pills. It doesn't matter that you suffer constant rejection and are in the hospital all the time and go to the doctor constantly, that your body is aging much quicker than anyone else's. They don't see it that way. They just see it as you should be thankful that you're alive. And I am. But a lot of those thoughts are what causes people to just button their lips up and not talk about it. So this is one of my first paintings. It was really healing to be able to paint this. One of the other paintings I want to share with you, which was quite a few months later, is this large painting behind me. It is me coming up out of the mud there and heading towards the light, as if I am discovering something, which is kind of fun. And it has a psalm painted real small here, Psalms 40, 1 and 2, which is, I waited patiently for the Lord. He turned and heard my cry. He lifted me up out of the slimy pit, out of the mud and mire. He set my feet on a rock and gave me a place to stand. That's one of my favorite scriptures. Along with painting, part of his create direction was to write. And I know we hear a lot of people say, journal, 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 and get your feelings out. My writing is a little bit bigger than that journal. I have started writing a book, and it is going to be called The Silence of October. And today I actually want to share a little bit of a summary with you, because I feel like it ties in, well, it does tie in to being a survivor. The whole entire book actually is about answering that question. Felicia, how did you survive? That's what the book is about. So let me just read to you a little summary. I think of it as the back of the book kind of summary. This is a story about a ratty brunette with pale skin and purple under-eye lines and blood-red lips that never spoke out. She could be likened to the Disney drawings of Snow White, except her lines droop and her colors fade. She has Snow White on the outside, but a keen guardian of dark enigmas inside. As she traveled through life, she carted the luggage containing her secrets. The bags were daunting. They seemed to be made from the thick olive leather of the 70s with heavy cardboard lining, large round piping on every edge, and bulky bronze zippers. Her assortment of luggage didn't have wheels, and many of the handles were broken, with pleather and plastic splinters that jabbed her little hands, leaving them calloused and bleeding. The bags never came along easily, but she was incapable of ever leaving them behind. She was unable to stop holding their handles with a white-knuckled grip that made her sick and numb to the joys of life. The fatigue of their colossal weight became intolerable, leaving the girl in a place of anger, residing in a world where she sabotaged her own life and infected those around her. But her bags were her power. Their packaged anger, her sustenance. With them, she had gear for every battle. They were her toolkit, from which she would unknowingly pull great strength. Strength that sustained her survival through childhood trauma, multiple battles with cancer, and 35 silent Octobers. So I hope that you look forward to reading that. I look forward to finishing it. My goal is by transplant birthday number 12 to have a copy here in my hand for you to see. So pray for me as I work on that. It is quite the task. I am happy to share that with you, though, today. And I just want to say in closing that today is not just a celebration of my life, my physical life, that I'm still here on earth, but it's a celebration of the lives that my story has affected, that my story will affect in the future. It's a celebration of all the lives that have been with me during all of the battles of my life. We celebrate all of those people today. Not just me, not just turning 10, but all of those lives. It's about celebrating Gage, who's going to graduate high school this year. And I get to see that. That's worth celebrating. In closing, I want to leave you with a quote from an apparent famous person because she's in this newspaper. Her name is Felicia Weimer. And her quote to end this video is this: start thinking about all the little miracles that are in your lives. Stop complaining and stressing out over small things, because in the end, they don't matter. Thank you for listening, and thank you for celebrating with me today. Big love to all of you.